Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids, and this is the video you've all been waiting for. This is my full review of Apple's second generation iPad, also referred to as the iPad 2. Now, I've had this device for just under a week. I managed to pick one up on launch day, and the model I went for, let's just flip this over for you, is the 64GB version, and this is the Wi-Fi only version. Now, the reason I went for the Wi-Fi only version is that I already have an iPhone 4 and I can share my data connection on the iPhone 4. Now, for those of you who aren't sure what I'm talking about when I say that, you can get a version of this iPad where you put a SIM card into a little slot in the device, and that would allow you to connect to the internet and collect your emails whilst you're out and about. Well, as I mentioned just then, I can connect this to my iPhone 4, which I've got just here, and actually share the data connection on my iPhone 4. So I didn't think it was necessary to spend that extra premium to get the 3G model. Now, I want to talk through what I've been finding with the iPad 2. First of all, the screen. Now, you did see me do another video with some screen comparisons, and I found that the screen on the iPad 2 is certainly a lot brighter. So I've been very pleased with the brightness, and the contrast of the screen as well seems very slightly improved. It also seems a little bit more sensitive to the touch. Now, the iPad 1, the first gen, was absolutely fine, but this just seems a little bit to pick up the touches just a little bit more responsively, so that's very good indeed. What I've also found is for things like games, let's just launch a game going now. Now, gaming on this device, the actual games launch a lot quicker, they play a lot quicker as well. We were told by Apple up to 9 times improvement on game performance, and I can certainly believe that. This isn't a very graphic intensive game, but I love Angry Birds and I always test Angry Birds on these devices, even if I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing. Absolutely love the Angry Birds range of games, and you will enjoy playing this sort of game on the device. I've also been testing some driving games and some more graphic intensive games, and all of them work wonderfully on the iPad 2. As I say, much improved loading times, and the fluidity of the game is a lot better as well. Now, I also like doing a lot of photography, so I have got Photoshop Express on here, and I've been using Photoshop Express for editing photos, and I find that it works a lot quicker on this device. Let me give you a look at it now. So I'm going to select a photo. I'll go into my pen pick a day photos, and let's maybe select this one of this Citizen watch. Lovely photo anyway, doesn't really need a lot doing to it. Very responsive on that rotate, as you saw. I'm just going to do a sharpen on it, so you can see it's already in focus anyway. Really, let me just zoom in on this a bit if I can. Can I pinch to zoom? No, I can't, so let's just go in and sharpen it anyway. So we've applied the sharpen, and it's brought a lot more detail out on the photo. We can also add special effects. Let's go into special effects and add this effect. And you saw as soon as I touched that icon, instant, absolutely instant effect. Now, it was very quick on the first gen iPad, but I'm just finding everything a lot more snappy on this new second gen. So very, very quick when you're doing things like photo editing. Now, email is a pleasure on either device, as is internet surfing. Now, there's not really a massive increase in speed, but it is noticeable. Let me just go on here and we go onto the Geekanoids website. Now, either device is going to be fine for browsing the internet, but you will find it's just a little bit quicker on this new device. You can pinch to zoom, you can scroll nicely through the pages. It is just a real pleasure to use, and as I said, either device, either the first gen or second gen, fine for this. You shouldn't look upgrading to the second gen iPad if all you do is browse the internet and look at your emails. It's a non-essential upgrade in that respect. So let me just close that down. The other additions to the iPad 2 that I sort of like, but they're at the same time a little bit disappointing. You will have seen that I've done some camera tests on the iPad 2. We've got this very low resolution camera on the front of the device which is fine for using that photo booth app or for doing FaceTime video conferencing. On the back of the device there is another camera. Now Apple could have put a flash in here. They could have given us the same sort of camera in the iPhone 4. Instead, they opted for the similar camera that we've got on the 4th gen iPod Touch. It is very poor for still photos, and for HD video it's great as long as you've got a well lit subject. So I like the addition of the cameras. I just think Apple could have done so much more by adding better quality cameras into this device. So let's have a look at what else I like. I absolutely love the thinness. This is a very, very thin device. It's actually thinner than an iPhone 4, so very thin indeed. Now they also improved the weight, and I must say that even though the weight difference is not that great, it does feel a lot nicer in the hand. They also changed the physical size, sort of the width and height, by very small amounts. It's hardly noticeable. The screen, some people have been complaining of sort of light leakage around the edge. Now I have got some light leakage on mine as well, but when you're using it in normal day-to-day use, as I am now, you don't really notice any problems with light leakage. This is Zinio. I use this for reading my magazines. Absolutely love the Zinio application. I've just received a new issue there that just pops up of Amateur Photographer, and let's load that up. It is a joy to read publications on this device. It just feels so right reading magazines and books, and I think more so magazines than books. Magazines really do lend themselves well to this screen. Now the brightness I've got set at the moment round about the halfway point. Let me give you a look at that. Very, very clear, very crisp text, paper white. Doesn't strain the eyes. If it does, just notch the brightness down a few little notches and you'll get it to a comfortable reading brightness, but it just lends itself very well to doing magazine reading, and I enjoy reading magazines a lot on either the iPad 1 or the iPad 2. What else do I like? Just the form factor. Absolutely superb. The performance, gaming on it, reading magazines all on one device, you can't really complain. One thing I have found myself doing, this is just me being stupid, but I don't mind sharing with you, is I often use my iPad in this orientation when I'm doing emails, and I found that on occasion I've been pressing here thinking this is the home button when in fact it's the camera. It's something that I'll get used to, but obviously you use the home button and you double tap to invoke the multitasking bar at the bottom, and here you can sweep between different applications and restart them in their frozen state. So again, very responsive on this switching as well. I just hope that in future iterations of the iPad and the iOS, perhaps Apple look at a different way of doing multitasking, because I get annoyed with double tapping the home button on the device. Now, would I suggest you buy one of these instead of the first generation iPad? Well, there's an easy way of answering this. If you've already got a first gen iPad, I would say it's a non-essential upgrade. The cameras are not worth paying the extra money for. If you haven't got an iPad at all, and you can pick up a first gen iPad at a bargain price, and all you're going to use this for is email, internet, photo browsing and the occasional game, then I'd buy the first gen iPad and save yourself some money. If you want the latest and greatest gadget with superb performance, and it is a noticeable performance increase, then definitely go for the iPad 2. It is a fantastic device. I am totally loving mine. Really, really like the black finish on it. It's also available in white. I have seen the white in person and the white looks really nice too. So either of the colours I think you'll be happy with. I just went with black because I think it gives a better perceived contrast at the edges of the screen. So this was my review of the iPad 2, an absolutely fantastic tablet device from Apple. Certainly all of the other manufacturers are going to be playing catch up again with this. I will watch with anticipation on some of the Android tablets that are coming out and hopefully bring you some reviews of those too. Thank you very much for watching. Please do come back soon and check out more video reviews on the Geekanoids channel. This video review is sponsored by EasyDraw, making drawing fun on Mac OS X.